The science of cold therapy is something that's interested me for a while now. It's a technique that was developed by monks and yogis thousands of years ago. They'd go up into the high Himalayas and sit in the snow wearing nothing but a robe, and they'd be able to melt the snow around them by consciously raising the energy of their body. They do this for a couple of reasons. They do it as an act of courage, but also to raise the internal energy of the body known as the tapas. So this is the heat of the body, and much like the sun, it's what sustains or gives energy to life. And that's something that we should be a little bit more aware of, these similarities between ourselves and the greater universe around us, these natural forces or these phenomena. And these techniques are actually becoming more widely accepted as being genuine forms of therapy nowadays, thanks to people like the Dutch Iceman, Wim Hof, who's been able to do some pretty incredible stuff, like submerge himself in ice for nearly 2 hours and just consciously raising the energy in his body and showing how this has an effect on the immune system and natural responses on the body. So I'm about to head off to learn the Wim Hof technique. I don't know too much about it. All I know is that it's got to do with a bit of breathing and then submerging myself in 0-degree water, which will be pretty interesting. I've been taking cold showers for a while now, but that water, even at the moment, is about 10 degrees Celsius in Melbourne winter time, which is pretty shocking to the system first thing in the morning. So being submerged in 0-degree water for a few minutes is going to be pretty brutal, and I'm sure it's going to shock my system, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it makes me feel. And when I get back, I'll report back on how the experience was, and I'll talk a little bit more about the science between cold immersion and cold therapy and how it actually can improve and strengthen the nervous system. See you later.
It's a bit of setting up.
Oh, is it?
That's cool. But James is going to go in first. You got this, brother. It just makes it a bit awkward because it's quite skinny. Yep. There you go. You got it. Yeah, we might. I'm hoping that we do a few of the
Hands on thighs, Doug, if you can.
You can rest your arms on the ledges, man. Yeah, there you go.
Like a little
Yeah, you'll find all that resistance changes in your body.
How you feeling, Douglas?
Now?
Yeah. And before?
The initial shock was pretty intense. I'd sit like watching the guy that went before. It was like the first 15 seconds was pretty insane, and then I think there's like a good minute and a half it was brutal, but yeah, the body just eventually settles, and now I feel like I could just stay in here. It's
that adaptation.
Yeah, the breathing definitely helps, and what we did before in the breathing technique in there was incredible. Really powerful, and I'm sure that probably helps and sets this up. But yeah, I feel like I know I shouldn't stay in here, but I feel like I'm pretty comfortable now.
So you just hit the whole idea.
Yeah, you just hit the calm.
So a big thanks to the guys at the Fifth Direction in Melbourne today for letting me be a part of that session. I really enjoyed it, got a lot from it, and just wanted to share a bit more about my experience and also the health benefits behind the technique of cold therapy, which we use in the yogic tradition. The technique's known as Ishnaan, which is also about exposing ourselves to cold water to cause a natural response in the body. And we do this through cold showers in the morning, which take from between 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the temperature of the water or a person's physiological condition. In the ice bath today, it only took about 90 seconds for my body to start warming up under its own power, which is basically a survival mechanism that starts to kick in under that extreme shock of the cold. So when that shock takes hold, it triggers responses in the sympathetic division of the autonomic nervous system, which is the part of the nervous system that controls all like the fight or flight responses in the body. Initially that causes the muscles to contract, which is really good for helping flush out toxins from the body And then as that cold shock gets a little bit deeper into the system, it starts to open up the blood vessels and the capillaries, which allows for a really good flush of the circulatory system, which helps with glandular responses that are vital for helping the body rebuild itself. And then once we get out of the ice bath or out from under the cold shower, the parasympathetic division of the nervous system kicks in. So that's the one that then identifies that the threat of the cold exposure is gone, and it triggers all those rest and digest functions of the body, and that tells the body to constrict the blood vessels, and that floods the internal organs with a new supply of blood, which is really good for reducing blood pressure and helps bring resilience into the body. So a lot of circulatory problems and nerve issues and even things like eczema and acne can be helped out by regular cold therapy. So whether you want to do that through the intensity of an ice bath or by regular cold showering, there's definitely some options out there that are based on the science of our body, and I'd encourage everybody to do their own research into cold therapies, or if you're in Melbourne, go down to the Fifth Directions and speak to the guys there. They're really good, they know their stuff, they know what they're doing. Otherwise, turn your shower tap to cold and see what happens. Cheers.